Bradley Woods, tucked just outside the quiet village of Bradley in northeast Lincolnshire, is a place that feels still. Even in the daytime, when the sun cuts through the tall trees and dapples the forest floor, there's something in the air, a hush. It's not quite fear, but it's not comfort either. The silence feels deliberate, like the trees are listening, like the ground is waiting. Locals say the woods are peaceful. Others say they are haunted. They whisper about the Black Lady, checking the back seat, avoiding the edge of the forest when night begins to fall. It isn't because they believe, it's because they remember. It's because deep down, something primitive inside them whispers. What if? A woman in a long dark cloak with a pale, grief-stricken face. It survives in bedtime warnings, roadside sightings, Reddit confessions, and TikTok dares. A lonely figure cloaked in black. A place that grows cold without reason, a feeling you can't quite name. Some people call her a ghost, others say she is a remnant, a stain, a memory too strong to fade. In the old days, people might have said she was cursed. Today, they just say, "You'll know it when it happens." It is not just folklore, it is lived experience. The story slips between generations like smoke. Children hear it from their parents. There is no comfort in her presence, no kindness. It's just sorrow, ancient and endless, and it sticks with you. Long after you've left the woods, long after you've told yourself it was nothing. Teenagers try to disprove it with bravado and shaky flashlight videos. Adults retell it with lowered voices and glances over their shoulders. She stands at the edge of the road or disappears between trees, silent as falling ash. She's not loud. She's not violent, but she's unforgettable. Her presence is not just a legend. For many, it's a memory, a moment, a glimpse. Some say she is searching. Some say she is warning. Some say she is simply watching, standing still as time and people move around her. What makes the Black Lady of Bradley Woods so unsettling is how her story refuses to die. The story changes, but the shape remains the same. She doesn't scream, she doesn't chase. But the moment you lock eyes with her, if she even has eyes at all, you understand. Even skeptics find themselves turning on a light they didn't think they needed. What if she's still there? What if she's watching right now? So the legend lives. And so we tell it again. The most chilling version begins during the Wars of the Roses. Picture a young woman in a small woodland cottage, her baby in her arms, her husband gone to war. She waits. Days turn to weeks. Then the soldiers come, not her husband's men, but enemies. They take everything. Her dignity, her child. And they leave her alone in the woods, screaming into the branches. She never finds the baby. She dies waiting. But her grief doesn't. It lingers, and some say it still walks. Others tell a different story. A nun from nearby Nunsthorpe lost to history during the chaos of the Reformation. Or maybe a healer, shunned and cast into the trees by fearful villagers. Over time, stories of such women blur, faces fade. What remains is the outline of a woman cloaked in black, forever out of reach. And then there is the version that parents told their children. A warning. Stay close. Come home before dark. Or the Black Lady will find you, will take you, will never let you go. On Reddit, in the quiet hours, users talk. One thread describes her clearly. 5'6", long cloak, pale drawn face, appears suddenly, never speaks. Another user from our Lincolnshire says it plainly. If you're ghost hunting, go to Bradley Woods. See if you can find her, or maybe let her find you. Some call her a gray lady, some say none. But most agree she's real. You feel her before you see her. A change in the air, stillness that creeps into your bones. A driver once heard a bump, thought he hit someone, brakes squealed. The road was empty. No blood, no body. Just silence and trees that suddenly felt too close. TikTokers film themselves in the woods at dusk. One girl turns the camera and gasps. There's something behind her, a shadow, a flicker of black. The comments are divided. CGI, some may say, but others say no, they've seen her too. Local forums tell quieter tales than Reddit. Stories passed along in pub corners and over fence lines. A woman walking her dog near dusk saw what she thought was a person standing among the trees. But when she turned again, it was gone. The dog wouldn't stop growling, wouldn't go further down the trail. A man who grew up in Grimsby recalled walking home from a friend's house in his teens. He took a shortcut through the edge of Bradley Woods. He heard someone following him, soft footsteps crunching in the leaves. When he stopped, they stopped. He turned around. Nothing. But he didn't take that path again. Another resident reported seeing a figure through his window during a storm. Lightning lit up the garden, and there she was. He swears she looked directly at him, through the glass. Paranormal investigators have been drawn to the area for decades. Not all walk away convinced, but many come away changed. Some say the equipment malfunctions, batteries drain fast. Static builds in the walkie-talkies. One team claimed they captured audio of a woman crying. They returned 2 weeks later, but nothing appeared again. The Black Lady has changed. She used to mourn quietly. Now she steps into traffic. Stories from the 1960s speak of roadside encounters. A figure standing still on the shoulder, a bump in the night. The sound of impact with no aftermath. These are not just stories. They are patterns, rituals, and there is a dare. A chant, whispered by brave teens who walk into the woods on Christmas Eve. Black Lady, I've stolen your baby. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes everything does. A shadow moves. A breath brushes the back of your neck. You run, and you don't look back. Folklore lives because we feed it. Every retelling, every comment, every video is a brick in the house of legend. The Black Lady is not just a ghost. She is a shared experience, a communal secret, fear you dare your friends to chase. Every ghost story worth its salt comes with a dare. For the Black Lady, the dare comes on Christmas Eve. That's when brave or foolish teens walk into the woods and whisper the line, Black Lady, I've stolen your baby. 3 times. Always 3 times. What happens next? Sometimes nothing. The wind rustles. An owl cries. You laugh it off, but sometimes something shifts. Your leaves crunch behind you. The air feels too heavy. The tree is too silent, and you know you are not alone. No one knows where this ritual started. It wasn't in the original stories. Maybe it spread like an urban legend, the way Bloody Mary did. Say her name, break the rules, summon something old. But even if it began as a prank, it has power now. It taps into the same old fear that words have weight, that names can open doors. And once opened, they don't always close. The Black Lady is grief in motion. If she is the mourning mother, then her ghost is what happens when sorrow has nowhere to go. Her story touches something ancient in us, the fear of loss, of helplessness, of being forgotten. But she is also punishment. Parents used her name like a curse, gave threat, behave or she'll come. Stay too long in the woods and she'll find you. Cry and she'll hear. She is faceless, or her face is just hidden. That hood, that long black cloak. The anonymity makes her everyone. It's every lost woman, every wronged spirit. And she is sudden. That is her power. She doesn't haunt houses or castles. She haunts your route home. Your shortcut through the woods. Your midnight drive. Bradley Woods is not some far-off ruin. It's just outside town, a nature reserve. Peaceful, even beautiful. But there's something underneath. The woods are old. Trees feel like they remember. It's a place where you could go for a walk, where you might stop your car to check a strange shape in the road, where you might hear crying when no one else is around. The nearby town of Grimsby has its own ghosts, its own weight. Lincolnshire is old country. Roman roads, Saxon graves, warpaths. And every one of those layers might have left something behind, and so the Black Lady walks. Whether she's a mother, a nun, or a warning wrapped in shadow, she moves through time, through stories, and sometimes, if you're unlucky, through the trees just ahead of you. The Black Lady isn't the only ghost who cries for her child. Across the world, similar figures walk dark roads and wooded trails. In Latin America, La Llorona wails along riverbanks, mourning the children she drowned. In the United States, countless towns have a woman in white or a lady in gray. Tragic figures seen at the edges of cemeteries and highways. The act of summoning a ghost by name is nothing new either. Bloody Mary, Candyman, say the name 3 times and something answers. These aren't just games, they're rituals. They echo a belief that attention gives power, Stories become real when we perform them. The Black Lady stands among them. She wears the cloak of universal grief. Her legend stretches far beyond Lincolnshire, even if her footsteps never leave it. She is part of a greater story. One told in whispers, in dares, in the places we fear to go alone. Legends like the Black Lady exist everywhere. In Japan, there's the Onru, vengeful female spirits who linger after death, often women wronged in life unable to move on. They too are silent, dressed in white or black, watching from just outside the frame. In Eastern Europe, the Rusalka is a drowned woman, beautiful and tragic, luring men to watery graves. In India, the Churl, a ghost of a woman who died during childbirth, is said to haunt graveyards and rural roads. Even modern urban legends share DNA with the Black Lady. Slender Man, though male and fictional, borrows from the same archetype, tall, faceless, ever-present. These beings emerge from our fear of being watched, of being followed, of facing consequences we don't understand. There's something universal about the woman in mourning. Whether she cries for a lost child, a betrayed love, or a life taken too soon, she becomes more than a ghost. She becomes an echo. Why do we keep seeing her? Maybe the answer isn't about ghosts at all. Maybe it's about us. The human brain is a pattern machine. In the dark, it fills in the blanks. A tree becomes a person, a shadow becomes a face. But the fear feels real, the chill in your spine, the sense that someone is watching. It doesn't matter whether she's there or not. Your body reacts just the same. Culturally, the Black Lady gives shape to something deeper. She holds our collective fears, of war, of loss, of the dangers that lurk when we are alone. She is the consequence of history, stitched together by grief and silence. Maybe she isn't a ghost. Maybe she's a memory. One so strong it walks. The Black Lady is not a jump scare. She doesn't need gore. Her power lies in stillness, in silence, in waiting. We live in a noisy world. Stories like hers cut through the noise. They return us to something primal. They remind us that not everything can be explained, and not every place is safe. Maybe she's real. Maybe she's not. But when you walk through Bradley Woods, and the wind stops, and the trees lean in, and the shadows stretch long, you'll understand. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll know she's near. That's enough. There are places in this world where the veil feels thinner, where the air holds memory, where a story can dig its roots so deep that it never dies. Bradley Woods is one of those places. The Black Lady of Bradley Woods is more than a local legend. She is sorrow with a face, warning in a cloak. She is a story told so often it stepped out of the page and into the trees. If you go there, be respectful, be quiet, and if you hear footsteps that don't belong to you, don't run, just listen. And whatever you do, don't say her name.